Preparing. Yay, we're live. Happy Thursday, everyone. It's going to
Woo!
take some time to get used to that. We were just talking, and at least Thursday means almost the weekend. So you get a little treat before the weekend. So that's
It's
always
Friday
exciting.
Eve. Party
Yeah.
hard.
We have kind of a little bit of news this week. Not really news, but more events, I guess, if we want to talk about that.
Like, we're hoping that there's going to be news.
Yeah.
It's a potential of news, which is the most excitement we've had since the TikTok, so it's okay.
Well, the Hunger Games official social media accounts changed their look to be, it was previously the 4-film collection, right? Or no, it was the Hunger Games anniversary, 10th anniversary. Yes. That's what it was before. And then last year they changed it to the 10th anniversary. And now they just changed it back to like basic Hunger Games first movie. So I don't know what that means. What do we think that means?
There's a lot of things that could be going on. I mean, I like the idea of a re-release of the first movie, but that brings in the question, like, why would they be re-releasing it when it's already past the 10th anniversary, unless it was to promote Ballad in some way, I think.
I think it's a re-release. I think they would do that because, I mean, even though it was end of January the other day, it's February now. So, I mean, if we're talking 11 years, that's a month away. So, I don't know. I'm kind of hopeful for a re-release.
I feel like it's a re-release. I mean, maybe that's just me being optimistic, but just let me be optimistic because I'm hardly ever that.
Like, they're re-releasing Titanic this month
again.
In theaters. Yeah.
I was about to say they always re-release Titanic.
And they did Twilight. I know Twilight was for 10 years, or was it 10 years? Yeah. But
it's possible that they would have done something for Hunger Games. And then, I don't know, the pandemic messed things up. And then maybe they decided it wasn't a good time. Okay, let's just push it until, right before Ballad. I don't know.
That's why I'm thinking, like, my little fan theory is that they're going to play some sort of like exclusive in theater only teaser for Ballad.
Ooh.
That would make so much sense.
Like, I mean, that would get butts into seats. I mean, I would be there immediately. I mean, I would be there even without that, but like, it would be a pretty big deal, at least for the fans. I don't know about like the general public. We would have to see with them, but I think it could be successful. Like, I mean, I think Holly, you're the one that brought up the Hunger Games Renaissance on TikTok. It seems to be getting there again, and I think it'd be popular if it came back in the theaters.
What if like they just do like a theatrical re-release of the first movie, but like we go in and it's all normal and everyone's like, oh, okay, whatever, it was just that, and then it's the post-credit scene that's actually the Ballad teaser trailer thing, whatever.
I would literally like poop my pants.
I start screaming in my seat.
I mean, I do think they would advertise it because they would want people to go and pay to go see the movie again. But
I know. I just want the drama. I just want the drama.
Right. And their bio says relive the fire.
Yeah, that's
so like relive. That sounds like give us a way to relive it. Like, come on. You already gave us the DVDs. What's next?
I swear, if they do another DVD collection, I will just
a Catching Fire
scream.
DVD collection.
God, deleted scenes or nothing. I don't want it.
Well, it's like
I would buy it.
The last shot of the first movie is literally snow. Like, it would just be so good if it just came right after that.
It would be. Oh, that sounds so great. Oh my gosh.
Let's not get our hopes up. Let's not get our hopes up too much. I do too.
Well, also, people are just like, for not big fans of the Hunger Games, people just see Ballad as the new Hunger Games movie. So this would kind of like regenerate that hype behind it. Like they said, reimagine or relive the Hunger Games.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So it would get people hyped for it who aren't necessarily like the biggest fans in the world.
I agree. I mean, the first movie was super popular. Like everybody still, from what I can tell, likes it and thought that it was a good movie, even if they're not like huge fans of it. I think people would go re-see it.
Mhm.
And so many people who never got to see it in theaters the first time.
Exactly. Which is a cinematic experience, let me tell you. It's great.
It's so good.
Give me shaky cam and IMAX. I'll take it. I love the shaky cam.
I've gotten on Team Shaky Cam.
When I was working at the library today, somebody had checked out all of the Hunger Games movies, and I was like, "There's the Renaissance," because somebody checked out every single one.
Oh,
I mean, hey, I'm just saying somebody had a marathon.
It's happening.
I just can't help myself whenever I'm working and then I see that and I'm like, oh my God, I need to take pictures.
So I wonder what the next thing that's going to happen is, because like, why would they change their social media and then not announce something on the same day if they were going to announce something?
Yeah, they're making us wait.
I feel like they just drag their feet with stuff, and it's not necessarily like in the name of creating hype. It just feels like either they don't have the social media assets yet, like to post them, or they're like, this is a pretty chill, laid back fandom. It's kind of dead. Like, we can take our time. At least that's the impression that I get. It doesn't feel like they're in any type of rush or like urgency. I don't know.
I've kind of noticed that like movie promotions have been starting like later and later for
Yeah.
like just any movie. Like, I mean, 2 months out, like even movies will get their first trailer. And I'm just like, I can't have that happen with Ballad. I don't know what I'll do for all that time. So maybe it's not as like important to them anymore. I don't know. I don't want to say that. I hope that their marketing is
know.
really good.
I mean, now they if they unintentionally built hype, like, I mean, they did build hype. I feel like everyone was responding to that expecting something. So
even some like this random girl that I went to high school with, she like commented on the picture on Facebook and she was like in all caps, "What's going on?" And I'm like, she gets it. This random girl that I didn't even know liked the Hunger Games. Yes, go off, Queen.
Well, Carmen in the comments says the hype is definitely coming back. I listen to the audiobooks all the time, but now there's suddenly a long wait list for them.
oh,
Oh,
Ooh.
good.
I'm about to look that up
Interesting.
at my library. Like, what's the wait time?
That's what I'm saying. I'll keep my eyes on what's getting checked out and what's not getting checked out.
We have a source.
Insider information.
Dun dun dun. Isaac says, I agree. Movie promo has been being done 3 months before their release. Interesting.
You can't afford that.
Can't afford to think like that.
Most likely to do a Hunger Games quote reference.
I gotta live up to it now, man.
No,
Yes.
My reputation is on the line.
But I feel like that they might do something special. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not holding my breath terribly too much. They also did just post like when was this, like a couple months ago or like last month, just Josh Hutcherson on Josh Hutcherson's birthday. That's all they said was just Josh Hutcherson.
Oh my gosh.
Like nothing else.
Same.
I mean, yeah, totally
no thoughts,
relatable.
just Josh.
Just Josh. No, literally the same. But it's like, what are y'all trying to do with that? And also like with this new, I guess, just changing of just the pictures, like it could just be nothing. I don't want to like, I've been disappointed too many times, Lionsgate. I can't do this again.
Please don't hurt me.
Saying. Don't hurt me.
Who ordered this
Yeah.
pig?
Who ordered this pig?
Shout out to all the people in the chat. There's like
Yeah, I was
quite a
gonna
few
say,
of you
yeah,
tonight.
they're popping.
People
Rachel,
What's
are
up?
over here
What's
for
up?
Ballad.
Isaac, Zell, Max.
Lauren.
The outdoors are great 1275. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
It's just because people want us to read ballad. That's all it is. People are here.
The power of
Mhm.
ballad. Yeah.
They know that ballad is top tier.
Power ballad. Wait, that's a pun. Power ballad.
It's advertised for.
Speaking of which, are we ready to dive into ballad?
Not again.
It all goes back to ballad.
Back
It
at it again.
does. Here we
Certainly
are.
does.
Wait, like really quick, did we want to talk about that picture that Rachel posted for Tom's birthday, which also happy birthday, Tom.
Happy
Oh,
birthday!
yeah.
Happy birthday.
Birthday.
Happy
But-
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
This sounds awful, I'm sure. It's not going to be in sync whatsoever. Technology is not that advanced.
And
Don't
cut.
worry about it.
But that picture that she posted, I think she deleted it. I don't see it. Was it posted yesterday?
Oh, it was
or-
on Twitter.
Oh.
She had posted it before when Ballad wrapped, but it was just like it was this, square Instagram size. And she just posted
Okay.
like a wider shot of it on Twitter.
can't-
So
I
got a
like
little bit
saw
better
it. Yeah, I saw it and I thought that it looked familiar, but I was like, wait, I don't know about this because you can see this like camper thing in the background, which is interesting.
Mhm. And like whatever piece of material is up on the other side,
Oh,
like
with that
creating sort of
design.
a tent. But like
Yeah.
the design on it looks really cool.
And then that random guy just like in the background,
Right.
like right under it. No, it looks cool. I'm very curious to see the production design. When I was rereading like the first two chapters about when Snow discusses his apartment, which we'll get to, but like I'm so excited to see that in the movie. It sounds just really cool.
Mhm.
Yes.
It's like a little
Yes.
Covey caravan area, which is interesting because we already saw the like cabin that's supposedly supposed to be the Covey house. So maybe that's like on the other side or like around it or something. I don't know.
Maybe I'm curious. I think I just it's settled on the fact that we won't get anything until like 3 months before now. So I don't know.
No. I mean, we have TikToks to look forward to. Yeah. Like,
That's true. No, that's very true.
and Lionsgate should post something because Hunger Games is just very active right now on TikTok.
We're very hungry.
For PETA.
Yes.
But Ballad.
Chapter 1. No, I actually really quickly before I went to the quotes that she picked from the books. I don't know if is this on the
Mhm.
audiobook? It's on the audiobook, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good.
They're
I mean-
amazing.
Yeah, they're pretty great.
So my first my first time reading them because I always just skip over the beginning stuff like that and just like go immediately to chapter 1. And I
Oh.
read them for the first time and I was like, oh my God. And like, even in the audiobook, I skipped over it, but I was like, these are so good. And like, some of these works I've read before.
Yeah, they totally frame how we're supposed to read this book.
Yes.
I love that there's a line from Frankenstein in there the most, I think.
Yeah.
I love the one from The Social Contract.
Yes, that's
Man
so
is
good.
born free
Man is born
and
free.
everywhere he is in chains. Like,
Mhm.
yes, yes.
Just wanted to bring that to attention. It's
I
very
think
good.
It's
Yes.
it kind of gives me chills. Like it's so powerful. And like part of me wonders if any of these lines will be used like at the beginning of the movie.
Oh.
I hope so.
Oh.
That'd be cool.
I mean, I kind
Or
of
worked into dialogue or something somehow.
Yeah.
because it reminds me of the beginning of the first one where they had I know it's just like the Treaty of Peace and blah blah blah, but just like a line or something before that
Yeah.
Mhm.
would be kind of
I mean,
badass.
I really want the first shot of the film to be Choreo sneering into a bowl of like boiling cabbage, but
Yes, I need the cabbage.
Yes.
that's what I want to set the tone.
Yes.
If we had to pick a quote to like go in front of the movie, like superimposed, what would we pick? Are we kind of on the social contract one, or
Yeah.
it's short and simple?
Well,
I
I mean,
think
I-
it's short
I-
enough that people would read it.
yeah,
Yeah,
The
I mean,
Frankenstein one is so good though.
I know I love the Frankenstein one.
I like the We Murder to Dissect
yeah, that's good
line.
too.
Oh yeah.
And that's William Wordsworth.
Mm-hmm. And it tied so much into the content of the book itself, you know. But with Thomas Hobbes, this quote frames so well the perspective that we'll see like Snow ends up having and even Gale adopts in the series, and
Mhm.
how they want to have like this John Locke ideal of what law is used for, but then it turns into something where man is born free and everyone in everywhere he's in chains. It's so good. It's oh god, I love Suzanne Collins so much.
Okay, Isaac is saying I would love to see the flashback during the Dark Days as the intro. I think that would be fitting to start with the Dark Days. I agree. I think that'd be
I can see
cool.
that. Yeah, I can totally see that.
I mean, we know that we're at least going to see some of it because of
A
the
flashback, yeah.
scenes. Yeah. I was hoping that that's how the movie would open, honestly, too. It was like with those flashback scenes. We'll just have to see. So that wasn't even like the first page. It was just kind of like
Yeah.
chapter 1.
Chapter
Part
1.
The Mentor.
I just remember the first time I read this and just being shocked by how poor he was.
Mhm.
Yes.
Just was so shocked by that. I was like, oh my god, how the
His poor
tables have
shirt.
turned.
Just it being
Yes.
so similar to Katniss's
Mhm.
situation.
Yeah. I hope we get to at least see the cabbage soup. It sounds really gross.
I do like
some
that we-
cabbage floating in broth, like ugh.
That's what I want to
Ew.
see. I like that we established that he hates the districts in the first paragraph. Like,
Yeah.
there's no doubt about that
Yeah.
from the
His
beginning.
disdain is so
Whereas
funny
District's
to me.
dumb.
I forgot how well she captures his like snarky personality in her writing. She does such a good job. Like
Mhm.
Yes.
like how he's just so like for himself in the background, and he presents himself as like, you know, charming and whatever, but inside he's really like, how does this benefit me?
Mm-hmm.
Your narcissism is showing.
Yeah, he's
He's-
constantly calculating and manipulating.
Yeah.
She captured that so well.
He's so annoying. I just like want to punch him the entire time I'm reading this.
I love the way that like Santino Fontana reads it, 'cause that's how I've been
Mhm.
rereading. And it just oozes of sarcasm and disdain, and I think it's so hilarious.
It's
But I'm
so
also like,
good.
I
It's so good.
want to throw the whole man away, but it's so good.
I've only like really truly just listened to the audiobook and only like pick up the physical copy like sparingly if I just want to like reference something. But like reading it, I've noticed, at least for me, is like kind of a different experience than listening to it on audiobook. I mean, like of course it is, but like it read differently, or like I felt differently about it when I was physically reading it,
Mhm.
if that makes
I
sense.
feel like you pick up on different things whenever you're
Yeah.
like reading yourself versus you're hearing somebody's inflection on,
See,
on different things. Yeah.
See, I've only read it. I've never listened to the audiobooks. So
Ooh,
Oh,
you should
they're
listen
worth
to
it.
it.
Yeah, they're worth a listen.
I think I
Also
might do
for the
that.
original trilogy too, because that narrator was really good too for Katniss.
She was really good.
I circled the uniforms because I knew that would be a point
It's
of
so
interest.
funny.
I
reading
thought
it-
about that.
Reading it this time and thinking about all the set pictures that we've seen of different things. Like it's just, it
Mhm.
feels different reading it this time.
You know,
Yeah.
it's funny because I was wondering about that. I'm like, oh, am I going to be only picturing, like, am I going to lose my book version of things? And I know we're only 2 chapters in, so there's still time for that to change. It's a long book, but especially as we continue to get promo materials, hopefully soon. But I'm still like picturing what I pictured the first time around. Yeah, which I think is kind of was unexpected for me. When I first read the first Hunger Games book, like the movie posters and stuff had already come out. So for me, like Katniss was always Jennifer Lawrence, was always Amanda Stenberg. Like, I already had that. So this was like the first time I got to read a Hunger Games book with absolutely no pre like
influence.
yeah, like I was just like, okay. And then yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see how that's gonna evolve because also like as we reread, there'll be things that are gonna get changed and cut from the films, you know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, thankfully in my mind, Sejanus was still how I pictured him originally.
Same.
I still, yeah, I got for the life of me cannot imagine Josh
Yeah.
as
Mm-mm.
Sejanus.
I know.
It's gonna
It's
happen, but
hard.
we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Take it
whether
slow.
whether we like it or not, it's going to happen. So paragraph 1. I was
mean,
thinking, I was like, how much we're gonna have to talk about, but clearly a lot, and I'm glad. 2 chapters is definitely enough for today.
I think it's really sad and really telling about Snow's character when he starts talking about Tigress
Mm.
and he
Yeah.
talks about this house of snow had not fallen that far, or was it falling now as he salted the cabbage? And just like, I think he's just so ugly as a person here, just reflecting on his ignorance, the fact that like Tigress is probably having to do things that he's never even thought of before.
Yeah.
And just how he judges her for it. I'm like, oh, I hate you.
No, that was the first time that like he truly gave me the ick when I was reading or like listening to it. I cringed
Yeah.
at that part. I was like, oh God, no. Ew,
Mhm.
ew.
Like he thought of people putting a price on her. I'm like,
Yeah, I was
and
just
then he
reading
just
that. Yes.
a vulnerability that invited abuse. I'm like, oh, just stop, please.
He also said Tigress was no great beauty.
Yes, I'm like, yeah, like you're attractive. Just kidding, he is, but like,
yeah.
shut up.
Snow's
Who thinks
misogyny is
about-
so palpable.
Yes.
It's gross.
Yeah.
And I've been paying extra close attention to it upon like this reread, and it's crazy. And I
very
know
true.
it doesn't get better. So yay.
Shut up.
And then we get the Grandmam, icon legend. I'm very excited for her in the movie. Oh, I'm not looking forward to that. I mean, the song is fine. The rest of the songs I don't like very much, but I'm curious. I just hear Santana singing it, and it's like not good. I'm sorry.
It's so bad.
See, I'm so thankful I've never heard it. So I just hear my little voice.
He doesn't do that like a tune. He just like reads it. And I don't know
Gems
why.
of
like,
Panem,
Yeah,
Mighty
like
City.
none of the songs, like literally none of the songs he like sings, even though he's like a singer. It's the most baffling choice I've ever experienced,
Did they?
honestly.
He must have been directed to not sing them.
Yeah, they must know that
He's a Broadway
something's coming
guy.
out.
Like, I'm sure he would have wanted and would have happily.
See, but that
sang them.
confuses me because in the original audiobooks for the original trilogy, she sings. They're different than the movie.
Well,
Yeah,
they must have not known that it was going to get picked up as a movie, though.
No, that's very true. I could see that.
I guess, but it just feels more awkward, man.
Someone needs
Yeah.
to answer to
Sure.
this.
For
Well,
real. I need to know.
Get Santana on the phone right now. Get him on the pod.
Let's get a re-record. Just go back in, record the
Just
songs,
sing
put them
them.
in.
I'm so
And-
excited to hear the songs though. Oh my god.
I'm
Me
here-
too. I'm excited
I'm
to hear
here-
Rachel sing all of them.
Me too.
Yes.
I'm curious as to how this anthem, like, because the anthem that we get in the movies, and we don't ever like hear the lyrics of the anthem in the original trilogy. Katniss is just always like, the anthem plays, and that's it. But I'm curious to see, like, because in the movie, like during the chariot parade in the first one, that's like the anthem, and it doesn't sound anything like this. Like the Horn of Plenty, it's very different. So I'm just like to see what the tune will be, how much alike it'll be.
I just want it to be Horn of Plenty.
Same.
I
I do
have a-
too.
I
I
think
love
it's
That's the
going
Horn
to
of
correct
be.
Plenty.
choice. And
I
then
think
we
they'll
can
make
actually
it that.
hear someone sing Horn of Plenty, which I think will be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I agree.
the words fit into it. I'm not gonna sing, but if you think about it, the
No,
words
I was
fit in.
literally
You
doing
should
that.
No,
I think they should get you to do it, Holly.
it's gonna be me. I'm available now.
Yes.
Better off sad than dead, he says.
Debatable. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Honestly.
I'm kidding.
I think it's funny, like the name on page 6, Fabricia whatnot. I was like,
I hate that.
I know
name
it's
so
random, but I'm
much.
like, what? I'm like, are you really trying that hard to come up with names? Like the
Just name
reason
her
I
Fab-
hated Ballad the first time. Oh, the reason I hated Ballad the first time I read it was I was like, this is just stupid name dropping. Like I hated it at the
But,
first time I
Like
read it.
Suzanne is so good at coming up with names that were
Mean
weird
something.
at first, but yeah, they have meaning and they're not like
But
that weird. So what is this weird thing?
but no, it literally
Yeah.
says right after. It says a woman as ridiculous as her name. Like she knows that it's a ridiculous name. That's why she
Yeah,
named
but
her
we already
that.
know the capital's ridiculous. Like I mean, I don't know. Seems a little stretch.
I think it adds to the character because like that is a ridiculous name, so you can kind of assume like what she's like as a person.
If she wanted it to be extra ridiculous, she should have named her Febreze.
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 Febreze whatnot.
At least it's not that. Okay.
I guess.
I mean, she's not going to be in the movie, I'm sure, but still, I like
It's
the
gonna be
name.
Rebel Wilson.
Stop.
Finally getting her cameo.
Um, I just think
I
it's
like-
kind of sad that she gave up university.
Yeah. But hey, it's not for everyone.
That's true.
Oh.
No, it's not.
I think it's pretty neat that in each stanza of the anthem, it is in direct contrast to what Choreo is experiencing and what the capital is actually like.
Whoa,
Yeah.
I've not thought about that.
Yeah, so if you read the stanza and then read the next paragraph, like what Choreo just described, like how he describes the apartment, how he's like talking about how hungry he is, and then in the anthem it's, you know, you give us light, you reunite, seed of power, like all this,
Go
you know,
off,
all
Gabby.
these things.
That's brilliant.
We're not smart enough for you.
It just shows how good of a writer Suzanne is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's so
Brilliant.
brilliant. Yeah. But then like that contrast, you'll see it in throughout the rest of this chapter, in chapter 2 also, with how the Capitol is trying to promote the Hunger Games and how the Capitol citizens don't want to watch the Hunger Games, but there's some type of like power that's at play right now that's trying to force the Capitol and shape it into, like, the citizens shape them into how they want them to be so they can have some type of control. And same with the districts. But right now they're just not aligned yet. But then we see in the original Hunger Games series, the Capitol citizens, like, they drank the Kool-Aid, they're brainwashed and had
Yeah.
years of propaganda influence them.
Should teach a class on this book. Like honestly.
Yeah, well, I could.
We're just interviewing you for the podcast as a teacher.
I could do that. I could put on my teacher glasses. And also, there's some foreshadowing too. It's pretty neat.
There's a
When
lot of
Coriolanus is
foreshadowing.
president.
Yeah.
I have to
President,
say,
let's see, on page 7, a tendency towards obsession was hardwired into his brain. It would likely be his undoing if he couldn't learn to outsmart it. So his obsession with the Mockingjay his obsession with Lucy Gray,
Mm.
His
with
obsession
women.
with Katniss.
Yeah.
Katniss, yeah.
I feel like if Suzanne ever writes a sequel, I'm going to be reading it different because I'm just going to be looking like more intensely for foreshadowing of whatever is going to happen later in the
Mm.
book.
Mm-hmm.
I just love this line. The cabbage began to boil, filling the kitchen with the smell of poverty.
Oh my gosh.
It's like so,
Dramatic.
like honestly, even Santana reading it out loud and then me reading it internally. For some reason, when
so
you just
funny.
said it, it's so it hits harder.
Poor Choreo.
No.
Honestly,
Dang.
I
He's-
feel like Suzanne is trying to get you to identify with him a little bit, like on the next page when he's talking about like, well, school is free until you get to college, and then you have to worry about getting into college, and then you have to figure out how you're going to pay for college. Like that's, something that the reader can probably identify with if they're from the US.
Mhm.
That's true.
Yeah, it's kind of a nod to how the similarity in systems,
Mhm.
it can create, it honestly can create people like Choreo,
Yeah.
and to an extent, but
Yeah.
it
He feels like
encourages that
his whole
behavior.
future like depends on being able to get into college and like get that degree and like pay for it and be able to be there and network and all of that. And I feel like that's relatable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
100%.
And having the
Something changes in the
peacekeepers,
future.
and even having the peacekeepers like exist, the fact that if you have a lot of debt, you sign the 20-year contract.
Not
Leases
that
the debt.
foreshadowing.
But yeah, that's also how the US military recruits people. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never put the two and two together like that, but no, that's so correct. That's insane. Suzanne.
She had a lot to say.
It appears so. And
Clearly.
that's why I think there's going to be another book, because I think she has some
Same.
more.
Yeah. I'm not putting it out. I mean, I'm not discrediting that at all. I feel like she will write another book. She has to.
I mean, she's got
We always wind up discussing this.
Oh my gosh. Come on.
I'm
What
grateful
else are
for
we
what
gonna
we
talk
have,
about?
but
Are you? I'm
I
not.
want more. I want more. Talking about the mentorship, I just think it's so interesting how they just like 10 years in, they just decided to be like, oh, maybe we should like have some sort of guidance for these kids being thrown in the death arena.
Yes, seriously.
That's my like one. I love this book, but that's my one big gripe about it is that like, why did it take 10 years to feed the tributes? Like, I mean, I understand that like
The feeding
Capitol doesn't wanna
tributes
watch
gets
it.
me.
and like you're just gonna keep them in a zoo. Like, I mean, like if this was like the first or second Hunger Games, I'd be like, okay, that's understandable. But like 10 years, it's not that long, but like that's kind of a good amount of time.
I feel like it'd take 1 year. Like, oh shoot, all the tributes
yeah.
died because we didn't feed them. So this year,
Mhm.
Like
maybe
that's
let's
a
make
long
sure they make it
time.
in.
So now they're mentors, which I think is just a bad idea. I would not trust an 18-year-old kid with my life. I don't know. As a 27-year-old, I mean, granted that these people are kids, so I don't know.
Yeah, it like if you, I don't know who brings it up, but the treaty, I think it's the dean, Highbottom. He reads the treaty, and it describes the arrangement of the Hunger Games, but it didn't go into detail of how to make that entertainment. And what we see here is like with the mentor program, it's trying to make it entertaining now, where the circuses
yeah.
comes in, when before it was strictly like almost like reparations or some type
Yeah.
of weird way for them to maintain power over the district.
And since public opinion was wavering, they just decided to kind of make it more entertainment.
Yeah,
to get
that's
public opinion back on board. Yeah,
that's it. That's precisely it.
brilliant. Well, you just answered my question. Thank you. Never, so now I fully love this book.
I'm here to defend it.
If only Chase were on the call.
Oh yeah, he's my biggest antagonist.
He's a tough nut to crack.
But he'll get cracked. What
I'm
page
like
are we
page
on?
11. Just like I'm on page like 10, 11.
Oh, it's on page 9. I was
I
gonna
was
say this
on
is
page 9, 10. Yeah, we're all about the same.
I was gonna say
Cool.
page 9 is the first instance that we get Snow lands on top.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. I was
Which,
gonna say
like-
on page 11, I like the idea of tucking in the tail of his shirt because it reminds me of Little Prince.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I caught that.
Yeah, tucked in the tails on the top of page 11.
Hmm.
Oh,
Cute.
and then there's
I
the
like how he
tesserae.
goes, but he was athletically trimmed with excellent posture. And then he emphasized the finer points of his physique. I'm like, talk about narcissism right there. Like, girl, you need to chill.
It also sounds like fan fiction a little bit.
Yeah, let us stop. I can't unhear it. She
When
put
the-
on her sweater and got ready for school and she did One Direction.
When the book first mentioned the tesserae, I was like, wait, what? Isn't that like
Mhm.
grain? What's
Mhm.
tesserae? I'm so
I-
confused. How is it cufflinks? Like I feel like I didn't even figure it out till reading it this time through, like that it's actually tile. So then I was like, why did it come from the bathroom? I just like never Googled it. I didn't understand. I was always confused. But tesserae is
Oh,
actually
same.
tile. But then I'm like, why was it
Same.
called that in the first book?
Honestly, I didn't even
So-
I didn't know this.
Yeah, so
same. I'm
I-
like, I'm dumb.
so
Me
I
Yeah, no,
think
same.
I'm glad we were all confused. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that like a lot we're seeing a lot of Snow's foundation and what he stole or kind of was influenced by and took it and
Mhm.
applied it to how he recreated the Hunger Games when he became like a game maker and all this.
see,
So
I
his
hate
it-
that because reading this, I realized that, oh, wait, here's another thing that
Mhm.
Snow named something based on his past. Like,
Right, and the tesserae is one of those things, how he had that personal relationship with it. And then later on in the book, he sees a problem with like needing the district to have a little bit of food. But then he thought of his own past, and here we get the tesserae, you know.
yeah.
That's so good. I didn't know this.
It makes sense to me now, but I don't like it.
Yeah, no, it was I had to sit and think through that for a while because it was not clear.
Yeah, this whole time I was just thinking tesserae was like grain.
Grain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coriolanus Snow, future president of Panem. I salute you. Shut up. Shut up, girl.
After this, though, that line, for Tigress's sake, he made a grand entrance into the living room, extending his arms and turning in a full circle to show off the shirt. Like, that seems nice to me. Like, I'm still kind of feeling that he truly like cares about Tigress, to be honest.
That makes
No,
me,
I
it's kind
can-
of cute.
I can see that. I think there's some conflict there.
I
Yeah.
think right now he cares about her.
Mm-hmm.
because she did something for him.
Yeah.
Ooh, there we go.
Ooh, snaps.
There we go,
snaps.
AJ.
I can't buy that he would actually have real caring feelings for anybody but himself.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so whenever he does show these like little
Yeah, okay, I can
affectionate
see that.
moments, I have to ask, but what isn't like what's in it for Snow? Like what does he get from that?
Yeah,
She just
I
saved
think
him.
we never see him doing something nice for her.
Mhm.
No.
If anything,
So-
he just gets worse towards her. Even though we don't know exactly what Suzanne. But yeah, in this instance, she saved him from having to wears something old or that he's outgrown or something stained, she just helped him maintain this like illusion that he's trying to uphold. So right now he's really grateful about it. But
Okay, I retract my statement.
Thank
That's
you.
on hold. We'll revisit.
That was good.
And like people, I mean, even she is like complimenting him, like, you look amazing, so handsome and fashionable. Like, that just adds to his ego. It's like, Tiger, stop that.
Yeah, stop right there.
Yeah.
And then the rose. Get the origin story of the rose obsession.
At Rose Garden.
The same one in the tribute training center, because it is the tribute training center, right?
Da-da. Yeah, because there's
And-
one part, I don't know where I noted it, but it talked about him going down 12 flights of stairs.
Yeah,
to-
they're on the 12th floor, the penthouse. He also calls it the penthouse, which is also in the movie.
Yeah,
like they
because
say,
he's
or the
bougie
book.
like that.
Wait, it's on
Yes.
the 12th floor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he goes down 12 flights of stairs.
Okay, well, I feel like that's just confirmed. I mean, it was already confirmed. for
Confirmed.
me,
Yeah.
but-
Oh,
And then they
yeah,
also talked
it's
about
on
like
page 12.
they talked about the underground bunkers too, like that they would go to during the bombings, and I was like, oh, that's like the actual
The
training
tribute
center. Yeah.
Yeah.
Their gym.
Yeah, on page 12 in the middle. He thanked them both and sped out the door down the 12 ornate flights of
Flights of
stairs.
stairs, yeah.
And I wish that was something that they could visually translate to the film, but
I feel like they might be able to, because like that
I think they
it-
will.
They will, because like it opens up into the Corso, which I'm gonna guess like in the movie it's the Avenue of the Tributes, like where
Mhm.
they have the tribute parade and stuff. Like that's just what I imagined.
Mhm.
So they would do that, I think.
I don't know,
But-
because there's two
I don't
different
know.
training centers in the Hunger Games and Catching Fire. Like, I don't know if it's gonna
It's the same.
translate.
I think it's the same tribute center, but they just like added on to. I think they do like the first maybe, but also this movie, from what we've seen, is totally different than the other movies. So who knows what they'll do? Honestly, it could be totally different.
Who knows?
I have something to say about the rose
Yeah.
that Grandmam sort of hands to him, or that he reaches for. He reaches for it and he pricks his hand on the thorn. And upon listening to it earlier today, immediately what I thought of is the shot, or I guess in the original series, but specifically the shot in Catching Fire at the party where like he's
Oh.
toasting the party, and as he's like
Mhm.
pulling the drink away, his like blood is in the drink, right?
Mhm.
And how the reason why he starts like wearing those roses all the time and like having rose all the time is to mask the scent of blood. And so I just
Mm.
thought it was like a fun little thing there, that he reaches for a rose and it causes him to bleed. It's kind of like the start of that whole
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
And then Tiger says puncture wounds never bleed long, which I think has a lot of meanings to it.
Mhm. And I feel like she's saying that from like a sewing perspective, like, oh, I've stabbed myself with a needle like all this
Yeah,
time.
she knows.
Yeah. But like I mean, I think that like kind of adds to his character though, because I think like the more bad things happen to him, the more he just like feels like they're just puncture wounds, and the pain of whatever happened to him won't last long. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't know.
I was gonna say maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I was like, puncture wounds, snake bite? Question mark.
Oh yeah. that too.
Ooh.
Isn't that like I mean,
Lauren,
when we get to the end of the book, is that what the nurse says to him or something like that, or like something to that effect after he gets, then we'll get to it eventually whenever we get to the end of the book, but
Like
is
the
there a
word
line
puncture,
similar?
or
Yeah, or like 'cause I know she said something along the lines of like, oh, that snake bite, like it's not poisonous, but like I don't know if she maybe said something similar to like, because that'd be a good callback, and if she didn't do that, then I feel like she missed an opportunity there.
Puncture appears 5 times in the book.
Oh.
So
We love the Kindle search.
I do love it. It is in reference to a snake bite. For Dr. Gull's snakes.
I really don't like snakes. I'm not looking forward to seeing them in the movie, honestly.
God, same.
Like little snakes, yes, I can handle, but the
But
big
I'm
snakes, no.
I'm so excited for
Me
Dr.
too.
Gull. I'm so
I think it's
excited.
gonna be great.
Same.
It's gonna be so good.
Snakes are cute.
Snakes
they're
are
not.
cute. Some snakes are
not
cute, but like
cute.
big ones are terrifying.
Hey, Holly.
All snakes are good.
I don't know what you all are thinking. I love you, but I don't know.
I found a garden snake on my birthday once one summer,
Oh God.
and I immediately
Garden
befriended
snakes are sweet.
I befriended it immediately. He hung out with me for a while, and then I had to pick him up and put him elsewhere because my grandfather saw and started coming down with a shovel. And I was like, I'm not doing this. This is my birthday. This is my birthday snake. You will leave him alone.
Birthday
Just like
snake.
Holly.
Birthday snake.
So we find out that the reaping day is on July 4th, which
Come on.
when I read that at first, I
on the
was like,
nose.
I know, but like when I read that, I was like, of course. Like, I mean, I never thought about like when reaping day would be. I just knew it'd be like, I always thought that it was in like March or April, honestly.
When I
But-
read that, I was like, yes, that's
Yeah.
so cool.
It makes so much sense.
I didn't want it to be like on a random day, you know?
Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna like, I
Or at
hope
least
that they
in
say something like
politics.
that. I hope that they say it in the movie or like have like at least like a sign or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say,
not to get political or anything, is what Susan
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
I was about to say like, oh, they could do like a cute like July 4th theme with like American flags, like season 3 of Stranger Things. And I was like, wait, no, the Pan Am flag is not the American flag. It's not across the name at all.
No, it's just the country America develops into.
Yeah.
Which I think it's a very interesting start because like kind of none of this is recognizable to America, like there's districts and all this stuff, but like for some reason July 4th, which is like the most American thing,
Mm-hmm.
they've held on to.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think that if they wanted to kind of erase their American identity, they wouldn't have it on July 4th, but it's just kind of funny how that kind of kept.
Right. I'm like, who picked that? Like, who decided? Like, it's like, oh yeah, remember
That's
that
Reaping
old
Day.
holiday? Like, this will be funny.
Yeah, I mean, like if Candace doesn't even know like what democracy is, I mean, like, I mean, yes, it's 75 years after, but still, it's
Like,
It's
there's
just
literally no
interesting.
reason for it to be on July 4th.
yeah, yeah, but like at the same time, it is kind of like a oh yeah, snaps like moment. But if you really think about it,
Yeah.
there's nothing to do with America in any of this. I mean, why July 4th?
Well, I think she's trying to reference what's going on in the United States right now.
Yeah,
and compare it to that.
it's a commentary on our current state.
I mean, I think there's also a reason why she put in like a pandemic too, like during this. I think that she. I
True.
don't know. No, that's true. No, that's not true because she was probably writing it before that. It's kind of eerie how accurate she was with that.
She
Then,
just predicted.
yeah. Well,
She
she, I mean,
Let's
predicted
she
hope,
does.
let's hope she didn't predict too much.
Yeah, seriously, let's stop there. But on page 14, I thought it was interesting how she starts talking about the arena, the amphitheater that had been used for sports and entertainment events before
Yeah.
the war. I was like envisioning it. I was like, oh my god, screenshots.
I thought that it was just like a football stadium. For some reason I didn't think like
Stop.
an actual amphitheater. I just thought for some reason just a football stadium. I don't know why. No.
What else? We got Posca.
Which is very gross if
Is
you've
it
ever tried
blue?
it.
I think it's a blue drink, correct?
No, stop it. Stop.
Gabby and
No.
I already had a fight about this today.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, I love you both.
blue drinks are banned.
No.
Yeah, it says it in the book.
I'm gonna bring blue Gatorade with me whenever we meet up for ballad, and I'm gonna bring one just for you, Gabby.
Okay, listen.
And I will
I
serve
actually-
it to you in a champagne glass, and you'll deal with it.
Okay,
Hashtag
listen.
Team Blue Drink. Hashtag Team Blue
Putting
Drink.
it in
Thank you, buddy.
putting in those weird glasses makes it so much worse. And
I can't believe you just
and
said that.
ranking it above the lunchbox. I don't get me started on this again.
This is not what this episode is about. Let's
Yeah,
just
sorry.
let's
I'm sorry.
Let's bring it back to
I'm
ballad.
I
let's
apologize.
actually
I
bring
love
it
the
back
blue
to
drinks. So
Stop
Thank
it.
The Avatar cocktail that was shared, I'm sorry, side note, looked
Yes.
delicious.
we're gonna hang
I
out
love
and
it.
make blue cocktails in November.
Yes.
So it's happening.
It's a ballad.
Whatever. Mhm.
Got some Nazi imagery. Emily pointed out. Very true. Capital Youth.
I just think that's just such a funny way of saying it, because doesn't it
It's
make you
chilling,
think
though.
Nazi
It
youth?
does 100%. It's chilling.
Like Hitler Youth. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yep.
I just think it's so funny. It's like everybody agreed that if the Hunger Games were to continue, they needed to evolve into a more meaningful experience. So yeah, that does kind of back the argument that like people were getting kind of sick of it and like didn't want to
Mhm.
do it.
Mhm.
Wait, guys, I just thought of something. So we just pointed out that the phrase capital youth has very Nazi Germany, World War II feeling to it.
Mhm.
We just came out of a like Panem just got out of a wartime period. And then the look of ballad, the aesthetic they went with is this kind of like 40s, 50s look.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying.
Thank
No,
you.
I've always thought that like it has like Nazi propaganda vibes, like at least like a lot of the posters and stuff like that. It's very reminiscent of
Mhm.
that.
Like this
And
would. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Your insights are more insightful than mine.
No, not at all. It was just
Funny.
clarifying what AJ said of how the state where Germany was in after World War One and leading into World War Two is similar to Ballad. Like the setting right here is
Yeah.
in between, and there's a. I don't even want to make this comparison, but how Germany was easily susceptible to a dictatorship. It's
Yes.
you see it.
Yeah.
You see the parallel here with Panem and Choreo and that.
And there's all the good comparisons or parallels, whatever, with the way that Snow describes district citizens. And then, as we know later, like the zoo stuff and whatever. And it's like, it's very dehumanizing.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Very uncomfortable. I think that this is going to be a very uncomfortable watch. Like even more so than I think the first one, the
Yeah.
reaping scene in the very first movie, I think was like one of the most well done scenes in adaptation history. It was so uncomfortable to see, and I think it also did give like shades of like Nazi Germany a little bit, or at least like something to that effect. Especially like when they got on the train, like the whole getting on the train scene. Very upsetting. And I think that this whole movie has so much more of that sort of imagery. So I think it's going to be a lot more of an uncomfortable watch.
For sure.
Because reading it is one thing, but actually seeing it, I think, is just like, it's going to take it over the edge. I think this is going to be disturbing, to say the least.
Yeah.
What's a little worrisome is the connection with like so on page 15, Suzanne writes, self-medication was a citywide epidemic. And that connection to the state of the epidemic that is abuse in the United States,
Yeah.
with connecting it with war and all these like major themes that are going on. It does worry me because it's like, what is Suzanne predicting? And I can't think like that because I'm gonna freak out. But
I'm already there, Gabby. Like,
yeah,
I live in conspiracy theory land. Like, that's my home. I'm already like,
It's
this
like,
is
oh.
all very prophetic, and I do my best to make peace with
Mhm.
that. But that's why I fill my time with silly little hobbies and special interests and things, because I'm like, wow, whatever, we're all doomed anyway. Might as well.
Right. And I mean, if it's a series on war, like how different
Literally.
can war be? If it's like how many times can you repackage it within the span of the humanity?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are we at the part where he's walking in yet?
Are we there
What page is that?
15? Oh yeah, you said 15, Gabby.
Yeah, we
I
could be
just
there.
love when he walks into like the gathering. I just love that moment. I don't know. He's so ridiculous. Just like
Oh, good.
being charming with everybody.
Good night,
The
AJ.
montage.
Good night,
Oh.
AJ.
I
Good
know.
night.
I was just trying to sneak out of here.
Not
Not
gonna say
happening.
goodbye on live.
Not
Yeah.
on tribute, Chuck. We'll find you. We will find you.
I have an early flight, you guys. I don't want to go, but I gotta anyway.
Right.
Safe
Night.
travels.
Bye.
Thank you.
I just hate how he just like talks about his outfit. Like, just he's so annoying.
Just shut up.
Just, like, honestly-
Just be
I
quiet.
just can't wait to see Tom like play this.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's
Part
gonna be
of
so
it.
good at it. I did watch like the first 2 episodes of Billy the Kid. Finally, he's very good, and I'm very terrified to see him as Snow. I think he's gonna be very scary, and but I think he's gonna carry the character well.
Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so
Yeah, I
excited.
can't wait till that final
Yeah.
final climax scene. Like
I get so
That's so
excited
good.
thinking about it. Then we get introduced to Sejanus. Ooh.
Ooh,
Queer
word
icon
profiteering.
Love Sejanus.
I hate
My
how his
favorite.
last name is Plinth. Like literally the
I know.
definition of something that holds something else up.
Well,
Like,
there
come
you
on.
go.
Typically made of stone as well.
Well,
being
in
from
District 2,
Yeah.
District 2 holds up the capital, so
She's so good with names.
a
Snowman's on top.
wordsmith.
Except for the
Whatnot.
whatnot girl. I just think go ahead.
I have a whole rant on Sejanus later on in this book. I can't wait to get
Ooh,
to it.
Okay.
I'm ready to
looking
fight.
forward to it.
We love a good rant.
I just think when I was reading this for the first time and it was like, oh, their family invested in munitions, but in District 13, I started laughing at that. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Womp womp.
Y'all are stupid. I don't know what
Idiot.
else to tell you.
That's so funny.
It was like, but it was also like one of those things because like another like gripe in this book, there's so many just like, oh, of course, like moments in this, and I thought that was like the first instance of that, of just being like, of course, that's how his family lost money because it was in District 13, like kind of too easy, but at the same time brilliant at the same time.
And then it just proves why he hates Sejanus so much. Just
Yeah.
like immediately.
Yeah, there's like a lot of layers to it. From that to like how Sejanus kind of broke the barrier of like a generational wealth and precedent, a privilege that's there, to just like his um how he's been raised with this propaganda towards hatred towards people from the district, you know, and how
Mhm.
the capital is embracing that. So there's like this relationship is super interesting to me.
And then he gets the bad news that they're taxing his apartment, which is so funny to me. Poor Choreo.
So stressful though. Like
I
paying
know.
an ungodly amount for rent in New York City. It is very stressful sometimes. And I was like, oh, I know what that feels like.
Yeah. My
Yeah,
property
again,
taxes, like
you're
I
kind
bought
of
a
feeling
house.
it.
Oh, sorry, Holly.
Oh, I was just saying off of your point before how Suzanne is making us empathize with him because we all experience similar
Mm.
things.
Yeah.
Like I bought a house in 2020, and this last year my property taxes went up, and I'm like, oh no. Like I feel it. So I feel that property tax.
But then Courier doesn't think he deserved to be taxed. It's like, what even, dude?
Yeah, no, it made me lose sympathy real quick. They don't tax properties in the capital, only in the districts. I think
What
I
the
hate
heck?
it.
Ugh.
When he already knows how poor they are,
Yeah,
right? Like
honestly.
he keeps mentioning that.
Yeah, he can't make up his mind. Like he has a lot of internal turmoil going on.
He like always says like how much he keeps his composure when he like experiences something bad or learns like bad news. I'm wondering how much of that is like just in his head. Like, is
Right.
he actually
Yeah.
keeping his cool, or like does he look terrified?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, how reliable of a narrator are you? You know?
Well, it's interesting how in the movie it's got to be totally different, right? Because we have to be able to see
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
like turmoil, like that tension. Like we can't hear his thoughts.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And it's annoying how like he's just like, oh, without, if they sold, they'd be they'd have nothing left. They would have to move to some obscure neighborhood, enjoy the grimy ranks of everyday citizens without status, without influence, without dignity. And then he said the disgrace would kill his grandmother. But he was thinking more about himself, like when he first learned the news, and then he ends up
Mhm.
going back to his grandmother. He's like, oh yeah, that too. Like,
And he says that, and they're still in the capital.
yeah,
It's this kid.
stupid kid. I was not this dumb at 18. Like, come on. I just think it's funny that like Sejanus's mom like got him drunk during the war. He's like, yeah, my mom was always forcing it down me during the war. Guess what else is there to do? And then Coriolanus is like mad at Sejanus for calling his mother Ma. I'm like, shut up.
So that was just so funny. Was Coriolanus's place about to be usurped by someone who referred to his mother as mom? I just laugh at every paragraph, I swear.
He like reminds me of Plankton from SpongeBob a little bit.
Ooh.
It's like a small little man, but big words. Then they sign the tribute. Oh, we meet Dean Highbottom.
Man,
Yes.
credited with the creation of the Hunger Games.
Which
Asterisk.
I'm just so excited. So excited by him.
Peter's gonna kill this role. I'm so excited.
It's gonna be so good. Oh my gosh. Just every scene I'm so excited for.
Brilliant
I know.
casting. Honestly, like such brilliant casting.
Probably the best casting.
Yeah. Well, that and Viola Davis, I think, are like the two that I'm like,
Mhm.
yes. Everybody else, I'm like, okay.
I think Tom and Peter are my favorites.
I think Peter and Hunter are mine.
Oh, Hunter, I'm excited about. Anybody on Team Rachel? Anyone? Anyone?
Crickets.
No.
I'm super excited for her singing. I mean, I guess it's just because Lucy Gray is not my favorite character. I think it's good casting, but
I do agree
I
with that.
loved
I'm
her in
not a big
West
fan
Side
of Lucy.
Story.
I loved her in West Side Story. She was so good in West Side Story. But Emily, I agree, she's not my favorite character. So like, maybe that's
I
also
just
why I'm
forget
like,
about her. I don't.
She's my favorite. I'm just there like I'm looking forward to her, like Rachel as Lucy, but I don't know. It's not like I was like blown away by the casting.
I'm so
But I
excited
love
for
Lucy
Ashley
Gray.
too.
Oh
Like
yes,
Clemency.
yes.
Yes.
That's like
Uh-huh.
that's my top 3.
Yeah. I would add her up there too.
it's Dean Highbottom, who is annoying and also, but like I hated him so much in the beginning, like absolutely so much, but I ended up feeling so bad for him in the end. But it just shows how good Suzanne is at writing characters. I think it's interesting. He's kind of like a Haymitch figure because he's just like on morphling all the time. He has to like have
Yeah, a
some
little
sort
bit.
of something
Mhm.
substance to keep himself distracted.
I thought the same thing.
I feel like him and Haymitch would have gone along like really well.
Besties
Yeah.
forever.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then Snow gets the last but not least, District 12 girl.
Oh, the irony.
Yeah,
She
like of
belongs
course.
to.
I
I
hate
think
that
it's
line.
yeah, I think it's interesting how they phrased that. She belongs to Coriolanus Snow. Like
Yeah, it's
Mm-mm.
incredibly
Yeah.
dehumanizing.
yeah.
There's a lot of moments in this book where he like insinuates or like says straight up like he's basically or she's basically his property essentially. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's absolutely disgusting. Ugh.
The District 12 girl? That's
Chapter
when chapter
2.
2 starts.
Could there be a bigger slap in the face?
Yes.
The smallest district? The joke district?
Mm.
Come on now.
That personally.
No,
Taylor.
Taylor.
I do think the joke high as a kite bottom is very funny.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So Janice gets District 2. So sad.
He's a part of that litter.
That's so
Aw.
sad, baby.
Little baby. Whenever I read President Raven still, I just think of the poster that where they misspelled his name.
Who proofread read that? Nobody, clearly.
That's all I think about. And then we cut
Sing the
to
anthem.
yeah. So
Yeah,
something
more
I
Jennifer
wanted to bring
Aniston.
up was I know it's a little bit ahead, so we can go back, but during our episode where we did the Pan Am maps, I think it was it Abby who said that because we were talking about like the location of 12 and then 8. And I'm trying to find where it says, sorry, my phone's going off. Like it goes from District 12
The order of the
reaping,
reaping.
yeah, to the next district, which I think was 8.
Oh,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me look for that.
Like
while
from
you guys
East Coast
talk.
to West Coast.
yeah. Which would make the most sense.
I think it was 8, 6, 11.
Yeah. Yeah. It was 12, 8, 6, 11, which would fit in with the official map.
Is 6 over there as well?
I mean, it says it's on the East Coast, so I guess so.
Yeah, on the official map, 6 is like above 12.
So is it like Ohio area?
Northwest.
Northwest. Huh.
Interesting.
Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, that was an interesting point.
Hey, so that's more confirmed. The Pan Am
That
map.
the official map is accurate.
Official map. Yeah.
I still don't like it.
I don't like District 4, so I don't know about that.
We get to meet Mayor Lip, we found out who's playing Mayor Lip this week, right?
Mhm.
Exciting.
And
These
Lil,
minor
right?
characters.
Lil
Yeah,
and
and
Mayor
Lil.
Lip, which they both look
Oh, good.
So
So
good.
great.
Good job. That's all
They're gonna
I
have,
can
like,
say.
One or two lines probably in the movie for like a second, and that's it. Probably. They got a lot to fit in.
I remember the first time I read Lucy Gray's Reaping, I was like,
Mhm.
what drugs am I on right now?
It was
like,
same,
what is
though. It was
Yeah.
No,
wild.
it's very chaotic. It does read kind of like fan fiction, at least at first.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I was so, I just remember being so upset with it. I was like,
Me too.
what is this garbage?
But like Lucy Gray has a whole era of fan fiction about her, honestly.
Yeah,
Like
I'm not like other girls. She's like a 2010s, like
she's a theater
John
girl,
John
guys.
Green. John
She's a
Green.
theater girl.
Like we have to remember this.
She's
I
a
just can't-
theater girl. I love that.
It totally makes sense if she's trying to entertain the Capitol and the audience of the Capitol. It totally works because her reaping, like, it's total silence in District 12, but then like everyone starts talking where Choreo is. Like there's a distinct difference there, and it shows like her performance wasn't for necessarily District 12, but was for whoever was watching it on TV where Choreo was.
That's so good. That's very true. I just like imagined the silliest possible thing when I read this at first. I think that's why I still have like reservations towards it. I don't think that I trust that the movie will do it well. I just don't know how they'll
Mhm.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Holly, I want to affirm your theory on page 26. And her lips stained a somewhat greasy red.
Oh my gosh.
Right there in the book, guys.
I'm gonna cry.
Right there in the book.
I'm literally gonna cry.
Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, how'd she get the name Greasy Say? It's like, well,
She has some greasy lips.
she got some greasy lips.
I would be insulted if that
Lovely.
were my nickname.
Well, okay. One thing that I was wondering was, like, I know we don't really know where the Covey is from, but Suzanne makes a point to ask where she gets her makeup from. And part of me is like, were they in the Capitol? Like, I know that they traveled around, but like, how long would they have been in the Capitol or something to get makeup from? Because Coriolanus makes a point of saying that makeup was like even hard to get to, even in the Capitol during the dark days.
I
Well,
was thinking. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just wondering if she actually got from one of the districts, because the Capitol only ever gets things from the districts. I don't know if it
True.
actually creates anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus, this was like only 10 years after the war. So like, if they're just traveling around, like going between districts, I'm sure they've like stumbled upon some sort of like some a remnants of like an old city, and maybe there's like makeup there or something like that. I mean,
Or maybe they learned how to make something themselves.
yeah.
That would
Yeah,
be
that's what I
cool.
was thinking too. I thought maybe she could have made it herself. So-
Mhm.
That's why that greasy red be looking greasy.
Greasy? It's not supposed to be greasy. That's funny. And then she gets up and sings.
Mhm.
Love that moment so much.
Do you?
Don't know how I'm gonna don't know how I'm gonna sit through that in the theater, but
I
that's
was-
okay.
That's some great
It's gonna
acting.
be
I was really
cringe.
convinced.
How's it not
It's
gonna be
so
cringe? I don't
cringe.
know.
No, it's gonna be so good,
Have an
guys.
unpopular opinion. I really like this whole scene.
Really?
Tell us why.
Because in the Hunger Games, it's so like not fun at all. Not like it's 0% fun. In this one, it's like she kind of owns it. Like her song too, like there's nothing you can take from me. Like
Mhm.
I love how she owns the whole moment. She's a performer, so it's what she does. It even talks about how like the peacekeepers like suppress a smile because you know that they go and watch her perform like choreo and well, I don't want to give any spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen it, but like you know how peacekeepers go watch her perform and like I like it. I think it's really cool.
I'm with you, Taylor.
And who doesn't
You kind of
wish
swayed me a
that their
little bit.
life just like broke out into a musical? I always wish my life would just break out into a musical.
Same,
Just like
Taylor.
Right.
Yeah, the same. Ballad is a
agree there.
musical.
Mhm. And there's still like some type of rebellious energy that's happening in District 12 right now. Like there's still, and we see that later on through like,
Yeah, I feel like Lucy Gray kind of knows it's rigged towards her because she has the
Mhm.
snake ready to go. Like, I
Mhm.
feel like
Oh,
she
she definitely
knows.
Yeah, she
She
definitely
knows it's
knows.
going to be her, and she's not going out without a fight.
And yeah, and that's why she's willing to go on stage, and she's, scared, and she had to be reminded to perform by other members of the Covey, like out in the crowd when they were singing a couple notes. Like she had to get the courage to remember the plan. Versus in the Hunger Games, like they were done. Like there was no one was planning to rebel. Like in District 12, there was like lost hope,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I marked the part where she says, "My friends call me Lucy Gray. I hope you will too," because of the little
The clip.
snippet that we got. Yeah. I'm like, yes.
I'm so excited to see that moment. I think it'll be I think it'll be good. I just had a hard time imagining it, but I'm excited.
It's gonna be awesome.
I love it so much. And the TV screen, oh my God.
I love the TV screen. It looks so
Let's not go down that road.
No, I don't want to talk about that. I don't think we should talk about that, guys.
No.
No TV screen conversation here. Back to
No.
ballad.
We're not allowed to talk about anything that we've already talked about for 30 minutes plus. Okay, we
Yeah.
cannot rehash, which includes the blue drinks, I guess. So
Thank you.
Aw.
Thank you.
AJ's not
do
here
it
to
anymore.
defend.
I can't handle it.
Who ordered this pig?
Mhm.
Speaking of, one winter's night, Coriolanus and Tigress had slipped out of the apartment to scavenge some wooden crates.
Yes.
Dun dun dun. That part is pretty messed up.
not the cannibalism.
The cannibalism on the
but
second
that.
That's never
chapter.
good.
I mean, reading,
Right off the
I think
bat.
this is one of the parts that I really just imagined what we had seen from the
Yeah,
pictures,
same.
which I enjoyed. I'm like, oh, okay, I can really like, I mean, I
Mhm.
can still kind of remember, I can still remember what I thought and how I pictured it before, which I think will fade with time, sadly, like once the movie comes out. But I do like, I don't know, having those pictures that were released and reading it again. It's just, it's exciting thinking about it coming together.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I mean, I feel like one of the biggest themes of this chapter is hunger
Mhm.
and people's relationship with food during war, because then it goes into snow and them stocking up on all the food and being like, who's gonna eat all this? And they're like, oh, just don't worry about it. They're our secret, so
Right. The desperation had turned upstanding capital citizens into monsters.
yeah. And how it's like, what was it? I don't know the word. Like stocking up is illegal.
Oh,
Hoarding.
hoarding.
Yeah, hoarding.
Hoarding, yeah.
Mm-hmm. which is like, with the whole toilet paper incident
Yeah.
Toilet paper.
in the pandemic.
It's,
Oh
it's
my
the
gosh,
way that, it's
stop.
the way that we can relate. I hate
But,
that we
like,
can
I hated
relate.
that. It's so awful.
Like,
But
it's a thing, guys.
it is. But it's also annoying because like Coriolanus calls people from the district savages when like, just 10 years ago, you were literally doing the exact same thing, like scavenging in the streets for food. I mean, he
Mhm.
was what he despises the most and like what he sees in himself.
Yeah, and I think that's like a major traumatic forming moment.
Yeah.
Like in these first 2 chapters, we're seeing a lot of those trauma events that happened to him, and that truly forms who he is, and that cognitive dissonance that we see, like he hits over and over again. You're like, what is wrong with this guy? But it's literally because of his upbringing of war, or being in war and losing your parents.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He probably blames the district, so they probably already has
Mhm.
like a bias against anyone from districts because he probably blames them for how his whole childhood was, and now that he's like poor and everything. And
Yeah. And like him seeing cannibalism, isn't it banned in the Hunger Games to like isn't
Yeah. It's
cannibalism
like the only
banned?
rule.
Yeah. It's like of course,
it's
like
kind of interesting. It's like
Mm.
it stems back to his childhood. Like he'll let so much other stuff go on in the games, but like that's the one place he draws the line.
mhm. Yeah,
Wow,
because
that's so
that was
interesting.
such a traumatic moment for him.
Yeah.
And I just want to note on page 32, when they describe Pluribus Bell, I immediately thought of Ben Franklin, and I don't know why.
What?
Like Pretty
I think
Bell,
of Drake
Pluribus-
Bell.
You think of Drake,
Drake
Bell?
Bell.
I literally think of
Ben
Benjamin
What's
Franklin.
the
I was
difference?
definitely more closer to Benjamin Franklin than Jake Bell. But I mean, queer power couple, Pluribus and Cyrus.
Yes.
Upset they're not going to be in the movie, but it's fine.
Me too. We need representation in the Hunger Games. Like,
I mean,
come on.
Sejanus will be enough, I guess. Who knows?
Stop.
It's like the only other he's the only person that's truly good to him. Like, I mean, other than I guess Tigris. Oh, well, it just goes to show like he just, even if someone is like super good to him, he still kind of looks down on them.
I'm sure he's also
Just-
jealous.
Yeah, 100%.
Hmm.
On page 34, I really like this interaction that Corio had with Dean Highbottom
Yeah.
with the slice of pie.
Oh
The
yeah.
apple pie, an American food.
Yep, July
That's
4th,
true.
baby, apple pie. Everyone getting drunk, eating pie.
That is actually
Sounds
just
like
4th of July.
a good holiday to me.
Yeah, straight up, yeah. Yeah, more foreshadowing there.
Yeah, going to university. And Dean Highbottom just like reads him to Phil, like, look at you in your makeshift shirt and your too tight shoes. Like,
Hey,
Ooh.
don't be rude.
no be rude to Coriolanus. Who cares about him?
Well, it's just the hatred he has for his dad. So in
Yeah.
that sense, is like it's kind of like whatever, dude. But
It's kind of funny to look back and he's like, it must be the nickname. I know it's the nickname. Like, so
Yeah.
yeah, like it has to do something with him.
yeah.
Because he's too self-centered to think about anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry,
That
nobody
is-
knows. Well, hardly anyone. Enjoy that pie, boy.
It's so funny.
Ooh. You're the
Oh,
best
God.
actor I know. Seriously.
It's only because it's
From
all
Rue
boys.
to Dean Highbottom.
Ballad
just so-
audio drama, y'all.
All by Gabby.
I'm excited for the like dynamic that like Snow and High Bottom are gonna have. Like the actors, I feel like it's gonna be really good.
It's gonna be
Me
so
too.
good. It's gonna be so good. It's just
Yeah.
gonna lead to that final scene at the end. There's gonna be so much tension. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. I'm with you on it.
I am too.
And then everyone knew what happened if you went to the districts. You were written off, forgotten. In the eyes of the capital, you're basically dead. Poor Snow.
Yeah. More.
It's just a pity party for him, to be honest with you. That's what this book is.
mm,
Look how sad I am.
Wait, pick me.
Snow's a
this
pick me.
this line reminded me of something Gail would say, so I thought you'd appreciate this, Holly.
Ooh.
They ship him off to some horrid backwater district where the people were hardly better than animals.
Oh,
Gail, right
Yeah.
there. Better than
Yeah.
animals, right there. Yeah.
I don't know which
same
one I hate
thing.
more.
no different.
Yeah.
It's no different.
Different Katniss.
God, no. And we
Well,
still have like 500 something more pages left of just Snow complaining. So,
Woo!
Mhm.
But in a funny way, you know.
yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
It could have just been called The Hunger Games Snow Complaining. Like, I still would read every page. It's so good, though. I do love this book.
Love Suzanne.
Me too. This is my like favorite one.
Yes, yes. Welcome. Welcome to my
welcome.
side. Yes.
Gabby,
It's
Already
so
won me
funny.
over
yes.
with third person perspective.
Let's
So.
go, Taylor.
It's my
Gabby
number
seriously
two.
needs to teach a class.
Yeah, you do. We need a class on this. It's my
It's
number
so
2 as
good.
well.
I don't see
I could
how
see
it
it
can
being
beat the
number
Hunger
one.
Games. Like I can't put it in front of the Hunger Games.
I can't either.
It's okay. You'll see it by the end of the book. You'll see it.
I
It's
might be
alright.
able to put it first in my movie list. We'll
Okay,
see.
Yes.
that's
I
cool.
hope.
That's cool. We'll take first movie and second book.
Any other thoughts on chapters 1 and 2?
Yeah, just to harp one more time on Thomas Hobbes, Leviathan. So I'm just gonna read what he writes. Hereby it is manifest that during the time men live without a common power to keep them all in awe, they are in that condition which is called war, and such a war as is of every man against every man. And I see that quote embodied through all of Corio's internal dialogue and thoughts, and his class's ideology and system of how he views the capital and functions in it, and even at the very last line, in the eyes of the capital you are dead, but how he goes back and forth to the importance of the games and why without a common power to keep them all in awe, and that common power being the Hunger Games. Like, I just keep like over and over seeing this Thomas Hobbes, like this philosopher from way back when, like he keeps shaping this character, and I just think that's so fascinating to me. And the ties of Snow being a narcissist as well creates the perfect villain.
I agree.
Wow.
We couldn't have said it better
I'm
ourselves, I'm
enrolled
sure.
in your class.
Yeah,
That-
honestly.
That's
Please
that's
write
all
like
I
a
got.
paper on this.
Sure, I can do that.
4.9.
You get an A+.
Thanks.
So who ordered this pig?
Who ordered the
The
pig?
real
What?
question of the night.
Well, on Gabby's amazing note, we're gonna end. And join us next Thursday for chapters 3 and 4 of Ballad. It's not too late to dive in. So check out the audiobook, get your own copy, annotate with us, talk with us. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yep.
Thank
I
you
think
all
so.
so much for tonight. I'm so excited that we're reading Ballad together. I'm like so excited.
Me too.
Too. Reading it
Yes.
as a group, and then I mean, we're also like, yeah, I don't know.
Gonna-
Reading it as a group.
Snaps for that.
Oh, I was gonna say
Mhm.
also like we have the whole cast. So like my brain
Yeah.
died for a second. But reading it, having everyone cast because last time we read it before that. So
Right. Yeah.
envisioning everything that we have so far leading up to the film.
And we're
And
gonna
set
watch
photos.
it together.
Yes.
So good.
It's mandatory attendance.
Mhm.
Attendance is mandatory.
Enjoy the show.
We need t-shirts. We need to make t-shirts.
Oh yeah,
do.
Emily, where's that
100%.
merchandise?
Yes, I told everyone to come after you, Emily.
Tribute
Wait,
talk on the
what?
front and
Yeah, I
on the
forgot.
back,
I was
enjoy
supposed to
the show.
attack you.
Holly's the merchandise girl. She's in charge of that department.
I said no for months. I've been saying let's do merch, and I've come up with merch, and you haven't said anything about it. So I'm just like go after Emily.
What? I didn't know I had to approve.
Yes, you need to approve.
All right, check.
Sweet. Okay, awesome. I'll move forward with the merch.
The front
Stay
of our
Yay.
tuned for merch.
can be
Yay.
the Tribute Talk logo, and the back is enjoy the show. Those can be
Yes.
our shirts that we go watch the movie in.
Oh, I'm so
Yes.
excited. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so excited. Well, join us again for next week for chapters 3 and 4, and we'll see you then.
Good night.
Bye.